Wondering how to get in a flow state? Here are 7 tips for copywriters. So first things first, it took me a long time and a lot of mindset work to realize that I can actually create my own flow state most of the time, not always, but more often than not, rather than waiting for it to come and find me. I think that's an important distinction to make and something that a lot of people who are writers, really struggle with. We got this whole idea of writer's block, and I just think it's kind of a lot of baloney. It's only powerful if you give it power. So, first things first, here are some of my favorite ways to get into a flow state, and that first one is a power playlist. I love power playlists, and I have a few, and some of them are kind of a little weird. For example, if you look on YouTube, you can find a playlist of it's called epic movie music. And it basically just sounds like all the music you would find that is, right before a battle or, in some sort of epic space odyssey or something like that. So that's one type of power playlist. Another one might be an electronic deep concentration mix. I also listen sometimes to this wave playlist I have, but definitely find and create some of your own playlists. And you don't have to take the time to create them because that can be actually time consuming, but there are a lot online. And if you start to play the same playlist when you really want to get down to work, it will help trigger that sense of flow that you're looking for. So the next one is noise canceling headphones. Man, invest in those. They are amazing and so worth it, especially if you're a writer. Also though, you can use earplugs, which is something I used to use quite a bit. It's incredible how much more you can concentrate when you really reduce the input of distractions that are, noises, sounds, things outside. And if you are, working in an office or when you go back to an office, that will definitely help you stay focused and concentrate. The third one is to dictate. Dictation software is incredible, especially as a copywriter, because sometimes you're gonna find that just typing is so much harder than other times. And what I do when I'm feeling like that, but I really need to get some work done, is I'll just dictate. And what you find when you use dictation software is sometimes the words just flow, they come out. And obviously you're gonna have to edit it, you're gonna have to tweak it, and you're gonna have to probably reorganize it a little bit. But that's actually the key of using dictation software. If you use dictation software and try to perfect everything as you go, it's gonna work against you. That's not how it's meant to be used. Instead, just kind of let those ideas flow out of you. I mean, you have never woken up and thought to yourself, wow, I have literally nothing to say today. Have you? So why do we do this with writing? Why do we sit down and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to write? So instead, just try talking. Then next one is a swipe file. All copywriters should have a swipe file, and it's just something that you keep and a list of ads that you've seen. For me on Instagram and Facebook, I have a folder of saved ads. Anytime I get an email that I like, I'll just copy and paste it. And then on the days where you're really trying to help yourself get into a state of flow, if you open up your swipe file, you can look at other examples of other writing, and usually you'll find something that you want to say, something either similar or you want to elaborate on, or it'll just inspire your next piece of copy. The fifth one is to break it down. Make a bulleted list of just general ideas that you want to include. Doesn't have to, really try not to be a perfectionist about this, because this is how you create that sense of flow, but just make a bulleted list or an outline, or put down the things that you want to make sure you cover. Don't put it in any order. I mean, this is the beauty of writing online, right? In our computers, you can copy and paste and reorganize later. So just getting yourself to kind of put things down no matter what is really going to help you. Also, I want to encourage you to have like a brief starting ritual. So I have a few of these. One is listening to that epic playlist. Two is sometimes saying like kind of reading a little poem or, calling in some sort of like creativity or muse. I know Marie Kondo, she actually wipes down her desk every time. Michael Phelps has certain songs that he listens to. So having something that you consistently do right before you get started will definitely, indicate to your brain, okay, now we're gonna start writing, right? It's kind of like Pavlov's dog where you ring the bell and it means food is coming. So if you have something that you do every time you sit down to write and you do it with consistency and there's some similarities, it's going to communicate to your body and your mind that it's time to write. And I can't tell you enough how helpful this is. And it will change over time. So let it change. Let it also be, keep it interesting and new. But yes, definitely one of my favorite things. And then the 7th one is to actually start writing. I cannot tell you enough. You have to start writing to get into a state of flow. Flow finds you once you get started. You don't get usually into a state of flow and then start writing. So if you are feeling like you have writer's block, and I hate that word, really, you've got to just put some words on paper. And again, use any of the other tips above. But if you also set aside a time to do this, like maybe only 10 minutes, that's another big trick actually. A bonus is to say, I'm just gonna do it for 10 minutes. Don't say, I need to sit down and complete this entire piece of copy. Just say, I'm gonna work for 10 minutes. Set a timer, and I bet you'll find that you will actually work for a lot longer than 10 minutes because we can do anything for 10 minutes. So that's my trick to just kind of get myself to sit down and start writing. So I hope this helps. I know what it's like to kind of battle the, mentality that writer's block is actually a thing, but really I want to encourage you to challenge that because once you get in that state of flow, copywriting is so enjoyable and so much fun. So hit that thumbs up button if you like this. Leave some comments for me about what you do to get in the state of flow. Love hearing from you. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks, guys.